like it says repartee. This first track takes a sample of the song Omarapati. You all know Omarapati for some reason, right? On the farm every Friday at the park, it's fucking J-Day, and every Friday that comes along I'm up early to sing this song, and it goes like Umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Pow, 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 pow. Caught the tongue, it's pockety. Bang, bang, bang. Hit, that's the sound of the drum. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Call me Rapidity, I'm like part of the family. Rapping so rapidly that this feels like a fantasy. Here to stay, thankfully, give it a chance, randomly. Practicing alchemy in the land of the brave and free. Catching up, plan to be better than any of these other rappers rapping nothing to everybody. Sold like a commodity, not outfitted in all countries, cause of how the words in my sentences are pronouncing. My name is Rapidity, I'm from the N to the Z, a European Māori representing reality. I ain't committing rascally, bringing pure telepathy, straight showing my sexuality and my nationality. See, my theatricality is no abnormality, raised by the industry of actuality. Ready to be partaking in some daylight robbery, ready to be partaking in some daylight robbery. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Pop, 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 pop. Caught the tongue, it's pockety. Bang, bang, bang. Hit, that's the sound of the drum. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. I can do anything I set my mind to. I remember every dream I dream at night too. When ground starts shaking, people are all in their houses baking, rolling up in their cars, having thoughts of making top of our Ramadas. Salam alaikum, walaikum salam. I'ma share a secret with all of you like Chadar. Break you out of your cages, open up a new process to think about. Purified visualization, explore range pain. Bulgars and Farad, see it takes hard work to survive volcanic eruptions. We're survivors living through earthquakes and floods, influenza, the Ebola, the plague, extinction and wars. Both rich and poor, there's no need for distinction because we both live on this planet like coexisting creatures, and it's natural selection has it we exist forever. Don't give the farmer his fun, fun, fun. He'll get by without his marijuana. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Don't give the farmer his fun, fun, fun. He'll get by without his rabbit pie. So run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Pow, 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 pow. Caught the tongue in the pockety. Bang, bang, bang. Hit, that's the sound of the drum. Umarapati, umarapati, uma, uma, uma. First time that one's ever been played in public. Repartee, you get it?
So here, I'll hand you over to Paula.
Thanks, man. Can you hear me?
Get right on the microphone.
Okay. I was going to do a thing about know your rights, and but I'll keep it short because it kind of looks today it's a different crowd today, and it looks like some of you may have even had a tangle with the police and you already know your rights. But for those who haven't, just remember when you walk away from here that you have to engage with Hypocrisy 101. If the cops say to you, have you been smoking cannabis, don't say yes, because that immediately gives them the right to turn your pockets out, go through your bags, and anything else that they feel like practically at the time. So, you know, that's the worst thing that is children learning to be honest and getting themselves in the shit when it comes to dealing with the police asking questions. So just remember that also, if you do manage to get yourself in the shit, and you're in the gun for making a statement, the best thing you can say as your statement is, I will make my explanation to the court, and I will not make a statement at this time, thank you. So that works. It works. So remember that, please. Just those two things. You can so easily have your pockets turned out and your bags searched and your cars or anything if you admit to it. And if you say, I'd rather make my explanation to the court, thank you very much, I don't wish to make a statement, they cannot do a damn thing. Okay? You can refuse to be video interviewed and everything. So just be very careful about what you do say and what you don't say.
Check me out, check out my Facebook, check out my YouTube and my Snapchat, they're all King Cass, King C-A-S-S. So yeah, my first track's called King's Crusade, and it's kind of like an attribute to the Crusaders, a little bit. The King's Crusade. Living in a new age. I put my heart in the game. Yeah. The King's Crusade, the heart in me is the crusade. The heart in me, it is the crusade. The heart in me, yeah, it's the crusade. The heart in me, the heart in me. See, we're living in a new day, ready for that crusade, ready for that new age. Steady as I move things, ready to do this. We be bring that music. Drop onto the studio, kick it with them new beats, spitting that new beat. We are here to my grind, steady on my grind. Ready to ride, yeah, I'm ready to rock down my course, man. Going down that hard road, going on course, and I'm ready for the war, man. And all I wanna see is the top. And if I'm gonna fall, remembering that's where I will land. Christ City, hip-hop support from a real man. Putting down a real man, putting down that work. System around the earth, think it's bound in the curse. Arses is burned and found in a hearse. Yeah, I stay grounded firm. I'm a Crusader King, I was grounded first. Woo!
Woo!
Warm welcome to DAKTA GREEN, who's got his prison suit on. He's just escaped from jail.
I will smoke a joint! Well, that's me. I'm fucked now. That's all I could remember to write down. No, we've had some fairly motivating and interesting and fascinating speakers today, and we've had some incredible entertainment. So I thought I'll lower the tone and get up here and say fart, because I was telling the girls over there I would, because in the absence of anything else, just come up with a good fart joke. All right, clearly you're above that. So I thought what I'd do is I'd tell you about one of the funny things that happen in prison. First of all, there's absolutely nothing funny about prison. And prison for weed is obscene, but sometimes it can be funny. So a couple of legs ago, I was locked up in Mount Eden prison, and I was offered a job serving food for the officers. In order to do that, I had to be a good boy. And I'd been a bad boy the earlier time I'd been in jail, and it cost me dearly in delayed release. So I was determined to be a good boy this time. So I promised my unit boss that I wouldn't have anything to do with cannabis in the time that I was in jail. This was like a personal task for me. Can I get through without smoking a joint while I'm locked up? I thought I would give that a go. Until we came to April. And I was walking down to the kitchen to pick up the meals, and an officer walking towards me, escorting an inmate, said to me, "Dakta, what's for lunch today?" I happened to remember what was for lunch that day because it happened to be, coincidentally, my birthday, and venison was on the menu for the screws. So I also ordered venison. So I told him venison was on the menu. He said, "Thanks, Dakta, see you at lunch." And as I walked past this other inmate who was a stranger to me, he reached out and shook my hand and said, "Good on you, bro." And I knew he'd left something in my hand. So in front of cameras, I ignored what was in my hand, went to the kitchen, went to the toilet, and looked at what was in my hand. And in there was a little bud, about the size of my little fingernail. And around it was wrapped a zigzag. Now, there was no smoking in jail at this time. Smoking had been banned. So there were no lighters. It was difficult to smoke anything. And I promised that I wouldn't break the rules, so I didn't know what to do. So I took it to work and I tucked it up behind the freezer. I thought, I'll work out what to do with that in due course. Well, bugger me, before I knew it, it was release day. And I hadn't decided what to do with it. So I put it in my pocket and I was released. And I got out to the gate and I had a friend meet me there with a camera and a big bucking joint. And this big joint was the first one I'd smoked in 11 and a half months. And with the prison in the background and the sign Mount Eden Prison right beside me, I sparked that big motherfucker up and I blew smoke at the camera and I told the story about how I smuggled cannabis out of jail. Now, there ain't many people that can tell you they smuggled drugs out of jail. So hopefully that film will turn up soon on the internet and you'll be up, probably not until my parole is over. So if you see smoke coming out of my mouth in the next, let's say until August, it's not smoke. I don't smoke tobacco anymore, thanks to the policies of jail, and thanks to you paying $90,000 to keep me locked up for a year. So when I was released, I no longer have a tobacco habit. $90,000 stop smoking program. I think we should actually get all the inmates out of prison, and all those that want to stop smoking tobacco, we'll lock them up for a fucking year and see how they like it. And when they're released, they won't be tobacco smokers, because that's just the way it works.